Hey everybody, it's me, Stacey with Sizzix, here with brand new product from Sizzix as part of my first collection for 2025. Now, in earlier videos, I told you Sizzix was all about innovation and new and fresh and exciting. And what I have for you today, is all of that and something that Sizzix has never done before. Ever. It is a brand new idea, a brand new thought that I get to share with you. And so my brain was thinking, oh, I have thoughts on what to do with reveals. And that's where Take Twos came from. And it really is a way for you to add sentiments, to add words with both reveals and normal cardstock or normal pattern paper. Hence the reason it's called Take Two. You don't get to do just one, and you don't get to do just the other. In each set, the thanks set and the hello set, you get to take two and do them both. I want to show you how this new thought process of what dies could be, how it works. Are you ready to see? It is so exciting. All right, I think I'll start with the thanks. And it looks like a typical framelit, thinlit set, a Thinlit set where you've got a sentiment, a nice big sentiment with some extra little words around it to finish out the sentiment. But it is so much more than that. And it all starts with this die right here. Now this die is very different from anything else we've done at Sizzix. First off, it doesn't have a cut line around any of the die. So if you were to put this down and run it through your Big Shot machine and then pull it up, it's not going to cut out. This is a hybrid between a die and an embossing folder. So when you see it this way, it looks perfect. The word thanks looks great. But the way this die works is actually this way. But then it's backwards. We don't want thanks backwards. Let me show you how to use it. I'm going to bring over my signature Stacey Park die cutting machine in the teal color. Hello, gorgeous. This is limited edition, and if you haven't got yours already, I am certainly fingers and toes crossed that there are still some left for you to get your hands on, because once they're gone, and I love the metallic printing on the side, all in the gemstones. It's just a lovely machine. Now, to make everything work, I do need what I call a squishy and a knock-knock. And you're like, a squishy and a knock-knock? Yep, it's called a silicone pad, and that's what Sizzix would like me to call it too, but well, it's called a squishy, and you can understand why. It squishes. And then this is a knock-knock, and you're like, a knock-knock? It's actually an impression pad, but guess what? It knock-knocks. It keeps it so that when I'm showing you the squishy and the knock-knock, you get the difference between the two. Now with your machine, any Sizzix Big Shot machine, of course you get your base platform, and you get your A shim or your solo shim, and you get two clear cutting plates. Now they do start out pretty nice and clear, but as you are making and as you are die cutting and as you are embossing, well, they're going to turn a little bit darker and get cuts into them. That is A-OK. A loved Big Shot machine is a Big Shot machine that has cutting plates that look like this. When they no longer work, or really when they start to crack or they warp a little bit too much, have no fear, you're just going to get a brand new set. How long do they last? A long, long time. But I don't want anybody, I want you to know that if it starts to look a little loved, perfect. The more love, the better. So for what we're doing today with our Take Twos and the embossing die, I don't need my solo shim. I don't need my A shim because I'm not die cutting. Remember, I said that the die, it really isn't a die. It's kind of a cross between a die and an embossing folder, and there's no cut lines. I do need to have my squishy and my knock knock. This becomes really important. And you will find this sold as a set. It is a tool. It is an affordable tool to go with your big shop machine. And once you have it, it adds another element to so many of the dies you may already own. Oh boy, howdy does it. And as a tool, you buy it once and you don't ever buy it again. And it is so affordable. What you can do with this, it's just dreamy. Now, I've got my base platform, right? And I've got my knock knock down, and I've got my squishy. That's how I start stacking my sandwich. Then I'm going to bring over my Revealz paper, but I'm not going to show you the reveal until we're done. I've got my Revealz paper, and I've got my die embossing right in the center. And as you can see, it's backwards. I know, that's the whole key to this. Now I need a top plate to send it on through. I'm going to center everything up, just kind of square it up. And as I'm pushing it through and my machine takes it, you will see that the roller inside the machine is going to start pushing down as if it was trying to die cut. But because we've got the squishy and the knock knock, the pressure from the roller is going to make that silicone pad, that squishy pad, push down into the paper, and it's going to grow. It's actually going to get a little bit longer and a little bit longer. It's going to come out the back end. We call it the squishy coming out the back end. That's when you know you've done it right. If your squishy's coming out the back end, yay, you've got it right. Look at it. See, it's getting longer. And then I can bring it back if I want. And I'm done. And like I said, when I take it off, it hasn't die cut in. I can't pull anything out. But can you see the depth of the emboss? It is really deep. I say when an embossing casts its own shadow, you know it's a good embossing. But the word is still backwards. Stacey, it's still backwards. Until we flip it over. Now I've got thanks, embossed with Revealz paper. I take my sanding tool. Sizzix has come out with their own sanding blocks, and they're important. The right tool for the right job, where it may be easy peasy to bebop on out to the garage and find some sandpaper that's in some junk drawer somewhere. No, not all sandpaper is created the same. At Sizzix, we took these sanding blocks and we made sure they were going to work with paper. That way, if you're starting to sand, the grit isn't so harsh that it puts a hole right into your paper. Nobody wants that. But it's also not so fine that you're sanding and sanding and sanding and sanding and nothing is happening. Sizzix took the time and the effort. I took the time and the effort because I'm a maker like you and I want the right tool for the right job. I take my sanding block and right over the top. And all of a sudden, that word thanks starts to appear because I'm sanding that top layer of paper off and I'm exposing the lighter shade of pink that's inside. It's not white core, it's not bright white, and it's not solid core, which would be the same pink all the way through. And you would sand and sand and sand and never see any difference. But Revealz is amazing. Now look at that. It's right in the center of my A6 paper. I can put this on a card right now, and with the set, we've added additional items, additional words, so you can finish out a sentiment. You don't have to do any more than this, but you could. Included in the set is a frame die. And once you've turned that thanks over, the frame die fits right on top. So what if you do want to cut it out? Oh, I know, right? Let's do it. Let's bring my machine right back on over. Now I'm not embossing. Now I'm die cutting, and this die has a cut line all the way around. So the squishy and the knock-knock, don't need it right now. We're good. I can put it off to the side. I do need my A-shim. So I need my base platform. I need that A-shim. I need a cut plate. I need my paper with my thanks. Now, easy peasy to read, right? When we took it out of the machine, it was like this, and you were thinking, oh, Stacey, what have you done? I flipped it over, and I made magic happen. Then I put my frame die right around it. And if you want to be exact, you absolutely can use a magnetic platform from Sizzix, or take some maker's tape and just tape it in place so it doesn't shift. I am a girl who flies by the seat of her pants. I just go for it. I put my top plate over it, and we're gonna send it on through, and let's see what we get. Easy peasy roll. This is an open frame die, so it's not intricate at all. You don't have to go back and forth. You don't have to rotate. You don't have to use a precision base plate. I'm putting them right on my gotcha tool. Look at that. Is that amazing? So, what makes your heart happy? Do you need to make a quick card and you put it right in the center, and then maybe you sand around the edges a little bit and distress the edges, and you mat it and you put thanks so much on it? Or do you want to cut it out and use it that way? It's all about having the opportunity to do this or to do that. And you would think that that's enough. That's enough for a take two. There's two. But oh no, we had to give you more. Of course we did. So included in the set is a thanks die that acts as a traditional thanks die. So while these are embossed, I can bring over a piece of my card and bring over my big shot machine again. And this time, my thanks has a cut line all the way around. So it's very, very traditional to what a Thinlit framelit would look like a normal Thinlit die where it's going to cut out. So I build my sandwich again, always remembering that it is the base platform. I'm doing a wafer style die. It's wafer thin. So I need my A-shim. I've got my cut plate here. I've got my paper, and whatever paper you're choosing to use. I'm going to leave extra in case I decide I want to cut something else. Although I could, no, I'm just going to go. My brain is already working. It's like, well, I could do this and that, but I'm just going to leave it there. I'm going to put my top plate on, and I'm going to send it through. Little creaks and cracks are perfect, no problem. Look at how easy was that. There's my thanks. And I could put it right there. So now I'm almost done, but not quite. You see, there's more. These really do dice and slice and sing and dance, and they juggle for you as well. They give you so many options. And I could use the negative there for a whole nother look. What more can we do for it? Well, remember, I had the die that allowed me to take my embossed element and then die cut it out and have it as a separate piece. Now I can take that exact same die. It works for whether you're using the Thanks that is a traditional die or you're using the embossing element. And I can take it and cut it out. Bring back my machine, so I've got my base platform, my A-shim, my cutting pad, my Thanks in the shadow. Bring my machine right on over and send it on through. Pop it right on out, put that on my gotcha tool. And now I've got a shadow for my Thanks. It's all about the options. It's way more than take two. It's take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do I want to just use the Thanks on something by itself? Do I want to add that extra depth and back it in a different color? Do I want to use my embossing by itself? Or do I want to die cut it out so it becomes its own piece? Between the 3 pieces, they all work together. That's a little bit of magic. Do you have to use Revealz paper? Nope. What white core paper do you have? Do you have Sizzix card bases and envelopes? That paper is beautiful. And you could put the embossing right in the center of a Sizzix card base, sand it, add a word or two to it from the set, and you're done. It's already on the card base because it doesn't cut out. You don't have to cut it out. Do you have patterned paper? Do you have double-sided paper patterned? That starts as white core paper. That means you can do this and sand it, and it will sand to white. It is just so beautiful. And the hello works exactly the same way. So we've started with 2 words. The hello and the thanks. All of them having the shadow or the embossing, the regular die cut, and then the shadow that either allows you to die cut out that embossed element or add a shadow to the typical Thinlit with extra words to go with. Hello, you. Hello, friend. Hello, sunshine. Hello, beautiful. It's all there for you. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Thanks a bunch. Thanks a million. Thanks so much. The card is done for you. The images on your sentiments on your layouts are done for you in a way that's never been done before. Something exciting, something new. You may already have the Spice Revealz paper and the original set that I launched in March of 2024. You may own it. Guess what? even that becomes new again. Even paper becomes something new and exciting again with Sizzix. All because they are open to innovation. They're open to expand. They're open to help you grow in what they do. They're excited to grow. They're excited when there's a new idea, like the dimensional diffuser. That makes their heart happy because they know they're bringing to you, the maker, like me, something that we haven't seen before. And that is always big news in the crafting industry, in our making space, right? So here we have a top note, fanciful framelit, big thanks. Here we have hello embossed and die cut out, hello with the die cut and the shadow, and then just the hello. Hello beautiful, hello friend, hello little one, hello sunshine. Here, thanks a bunch. Thanks a bunch using the die and the shadow. Oh, love this fanciful framelit. Wow. But then you incorporate the take twos to another level, Here we have thanks as the embossing. Thanks as the embossing without doing any sanding. Here we have the die and the shadow and then just the die. Thanks a lot, thanks a bunch, thanks a million, thanks so much. What is it you need to say? What do you need to say thanks for? I've got you covered. And then look at the hello. Also part of the raindrops. It's a stamp and stencil combo. And this just adds the perfect little touch. The little label underneath is from my Top Notes collection. So, I've said it before and I will say it again. With Sizzix, it is all about innovation. It's all about finding that new thing that is going to make your crafting journey even better than it was before. I mean, really, you can say that basically every year about Sizzix because they always have something new and fresh in their magic bag, just ready to bring it to you. And for this collection, well, part of it is my Take Two die sets where you can die cut, you can emboss, you have it all. I am so thankful that you are part of my crafty journey, and I am Stacey, a licensed designer for Sizzix. I will see you next time where we bring you even more spectacular. Until then, bye everybody.